Doctor.
It is
Movemeber again.
It is officially, well, I guess it's like the 3rd now of Movemeber, is it? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been places where I need to know the date for a while.
I don't know. I worked a couple overtime shifts, so my internal clock is just shattered.
Yeah. We just got through with Halloween, which I didn't even end up dressing up for Halloween. Just put on comfy clothes. All my kids went out on their own, and so I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm not dressing up. I'm going to put on some sweats, jacket, sit on the porch.
Battle Crocs.
Yep, put on the old Battle Crocs. Had a case of beer. Good night.
Yeah, I worked during the day, so I didn't do shit.
Yeah. You know what's weird is, so we, Izzy ended up going with her boyfriend, over to his house and hung out for a little while. She came back at 11 o'clock, 10:30, 10:45. And me and Kara were just sitting on the porch still, just talking. And we hadn't had trick-or-treaters for a while. And we were just sitting there talking, and then she came home and then decided to go inside. And so we were, cleaning up all the shit, just some of the props we had outside that we didn't want to get stolen. So, we were cleaning stuff up, turned the lights off, and went back out to grab something. And I'd look up in the sky and see the moon, and then there was a fucking straight line of light just going through the sky like that.
What color was it?
White.
Was it fast?
No, it was just there. It wasn't moving.
Oh, like a straight line,
yeah.
Not like a streak.
No, it was just a straight line in the sky, looked like a spotlight, but there wasn't a spot. It was coming from over the top of the mountain all the way across. So I walked out into my yard and I was staring up at the sky what the fuck is that?
Holy shit.
And so I went inside. Kara, come out, come look at this. She came out and it was there for a while. We were sitting there looking at this, it was just a streak of light in the sky. But it wasn't, it was too bright and too, it went all the way across the whole sky. So it wasn't a spotlight. You could see it.
Very interesting.
It was fucking weird. Totally forgot about that.
Was it going towards Dugway?
It was going, from the side of this mountain all the way to the other side of that mountain.
Oh, yeah, so it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know what that was.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, talking about
Movemeber, Men's Mental Health Month, the real one.
The real one.
Because I think it's easier to talk about mental health in June because it's early summer.
Yeah.
You just got through the spring, the weather's nice. It's much more, I think, challenging to talk about it in the colder months.
Yeah, especially the beginning of the dark days.
Yeah, your pre-seasonal depression.
Yeah, the time just changed, and so you're already depressed about that.
I'm double depressed about it because I had to work that night, so it's a 13-hour shift instead of 12. But everything after midnight was double time, so I got 9 hours of double time.
Yeah.
Still sucked.
Yeah, that sounds equally bad, dude. So yeah, we've been talking. We've had a few episodes this season or this year talking about mental health or just health in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, mental health is something, especially in men, that is often overlooked because men are supposed to be stoic and
supposed to be. And so I was telling you earlier about the Dave Schrader video from Phenomicon I was watching, and something he talks about within the realm of stoicism is how often we as people, when we lose somebody we love, in his case he was talking about his dad passing away, and he's like, we all have this thing where we go through this and we try to act stoic and keep it all inside, and he's like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Go blubber as long as you need to and do all that. And I really appreciated hearing that from an older man. Granted, he's not that much older than we are, but fucking fly. But I appreciate hearing that from men of a different generation who can finally just be like, no, the old ways are done. You don't have to do that. So Stoicism has its place. And believe me, I got that Marcus Aurelius book, and I delve into that here and there, and it's like I learn a little piece. Instead of trying to read the whole book, I read a little bit, try to apply it to myself and ingrain it into myself, and then I'll go back and read another piece. So Stoicism has its place, it has its purpose. It does not have a purpose in grief. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that's a big point of interest for mental health.
Yeah.
Men's especially, because we're always kind of taught, to man up and deal with it and all that. And I know we've talked about that till we're blue in the face, but it seems like you can't say it enough.
Yeah.
Because even as much as we talk about it, we're still fucking guilty of it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to beat a bad habit out of yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I still find myself like, it's something with my kids, like they'll be sad or depressed about something, and it's hard not to fall back into that, like, okay, well, yeah, stuff just happens, you got to just keep on moving. And it's like, no, it's okay to be sad about that. It's okay to be sad about a friend that does something, or you can be depressed about something that's happened. But there is a fine line between trying to tell somebody it's okay to be depressed, but you have to kind of move through it, through the depression as it's happening. Mm-hmm. You can't just sit there and dwell on it, or it'll be stuck on it forever. And there are people that that I've seen that are stuck in something that's happened in their life and don't move past it, and it kind of drives them to be, some of them fall into like alcoholism and don't ever get out of that, and just stay in that perpetual state of depression.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, yeah, it is okay to, be sad about something, but you have to work your emotions through that, get over it to a point where you can move past it.
Lord knows that was me for a long time. But yeah, with that same thing, at some point you have to make the decision of I'm done wallowing. I need to move forward.
Yeah.
And then, falling into that kind of pattern of alcoholism it's a choice you have to make to break free from it. And not everybody who abuses alcohol is an alcoholic, but when you're trying to heal from some shit, drinking at the same time is counterproductive. Yeah. It's like trying to run with a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
You're just going to make it worse. So it really is, it can be difficult, because that becomes a source of like dopamine reliance. But once you can kind of break free from it, you're going to find that your healing changes.
Yeah. Because
you're no longer like, oh, I got to get through this set of days or whatever, and then I'm going to have a drink and I'll feel better. You won't. Yeah. You'll just be worse. Mm-hmm. So you have to get to the point where you have to choose the healthier thing, whatever it is. But yeah, some people really do just stay stuck in whatever state they're in. They're like living ghosts.
Yeah.
They had this traumatic event, whatever it may be, and then they just live on with that, instead of trying to say, I want something better, or I deserve something better, or I'm willing to work towards something better.
Yeah, it's almost, you have to come to the realization of, at some point, whatever happened, and there is really nothing that you can do to change whatever it was that happened. It is okay to feel bad about that.
Sure.
But it's more beneficial to take from it and look at it in the lens of like, what have you learned from that? What can you take from that can help you grow from that? Instead of being like, well, if I move past that, then I'm forgetting about it, and I don't want to forget about it. It's like, no, you don't have to forget about it. You just have to put that into a light where it can be beneficial to you, rather than hold you back from doing other things that you want to do for the rest of your life.
100%. I actually kind of had that realization fairly recently about kind of built up resentment that I have towards certain people. You know, I really thought about like, why do I still have this? Why do I still have to deal with it? And it really is because I was holding on to it. Because in a way, that's kind of the only piece of that person you get to keep is within that resentment. But it's like, if I don't want the resentment, I shouldn't want to keep a piece of that person either. And it's okay to just let all that shit go. It's hard, but you really have to take a look at yourself and go, do I really want to keep carrying this shit around like a bag of fucking bricks all the time? No, I don't.
Yeah.
So resentment and, like you were saying, kind of holding on to that trauma is really a way to keep that alive. And it also keeps alive your victim mentality of, I was wronged, I'm the one who's hurt, and blah blah blah, pity me. It's like, who are you really helping with that?
Yeah.
Not yourself, that's for sure. And then people don't want to deal with it. People are there for you and they want to help you, but they don't want to sit and listen to you whine about the same thing over and over and over, especially when it's been a certain amount of time. And it's like, you should be on the healing path and you're not.
Yeah.
And a lot of people won't call you out on it, but you need to call yourself out on it.
Well, also, it's like people find something, or people have something going on in their lives, and that they'll constantly complain about it, but then at the same time won't take any steps to correct that, or won't take any steps to better that situation that they're in or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is sad when you see somebody like that, and you can try to give them advice for a certain amount of time, and at a certain point it's like, yeah, I'm here for you if you need. I've already said what I think, and it's not going to change. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, oh, you know what, you're right, you should just be stuck in this place.
Yeah, you should just sit here with your pity party.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it, you know, to a degree, because there's no actual time frame on healing.
Right.
Whatever it is you've gone through, whatever trauma you're dealing with, there is no time frame. You could be healed in a week, you could be healed in a month, it could be a year, it could be 5 years, who knows? As long as you're actually perpetually trying, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're going to get to the finish line. You have to go at your own pace. But for the people, you know, like, oh, it's been 10 years since X, Y, and Z happened, and you're still holding on to it, you're making the choice to hold on to it. That's why you're miserable, because of you, not because of this thing that happened. Granted, that's not within every circumstance. Some people face traumas that are lifelong.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. But as long as you're not perpetually living the victim mentality of that, you're going to be fine.
Yeah. And you can look at differences in people who have some traumatic thing happen to them, and they use that as fuel to become like great people or great athletes or great whatever it is. You know, is that the most healthy thing? It looks like it from the outside, of like, oh yeah, well, they use this trauma to fuel their pursuit of being great in whatever it is that they're pursuing. But did they actually move through that trauma, or are they still carrying that with them?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that I even had to deal with on my own, is like, you know, I'm doing all these things I've wanted to do for a while. Is it because I really want to do them? Or is it because I'm trying to stay distracted so I don't think about things that are bothering me? And for a minute, that was the answer, was that I was trying to stay distracted. But the longer I went and the more it healed, the more I went, no, this is me. This is what I want to do. This is who I am.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with distraction. I'm pursuing these things because I enjoy them.
Yeah. I think in a sense, though, distraction is something that can be beneficial, just so you can distance yourself from said thing that happened. You get some distance from it, then you can look back at it and then better understand from a distance what happened and why you felt a certain way, and how you can continually move away from that space of feeling a certain way about whatever happened. So I do think that finding a distraction in the beginning, I think, can be beneficial if you go back to it. You have to go back to it and be like, okay, it's been some time, now I can look at this from a new lens. I'm at a different point in my life. You know, I can understand this and feel it and go through the pain that's not going to, you know, it's not right on the surface. It's a little bit deeper, but I can process it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I've kind of developed a few rules for myself. And it's not to say it's tied to, you know, a certain trauma or whatever. It's tied to everything, because we live in a very complicated world, and you have to learn how to uncomplicate yourself. And so one thing I do is, when I find myself dwelling on something or feeling irritated about something or whatever, is I remind myself my power is mine. And the more I give to that, the less I have for myself. So if I think about, let's say, taxes, because taxation is theft. Overtaxation is theft, I'll say. When I think about that and I get really pissed off about it, right? Instead I think about, no, my power is my power. I'm not going to give it to that. I'm not going to give it to this person that said something awful about me or whatever. I'm going to keep that for myself, because I can use my power for something that's important to me. That person who said some awful thing about me that got back to me, that person doesn't actually matter. Therefore, they don't deserve any of my power.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to do at first, but then as time goes on, you go, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I got way more cool shit going on than dealing with what that jackass said about me.
Yeah.
Furthermore, another rule I have is to not take criticism from people you don't respect. Because if I don't like you and you're talking shit about me, I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
You don't mean anything to me. I don't think about you in my day-to-day life. You're not important. We don't share the same last name. We're not friends. You don't matter. Therefore, the things you say don't fucking matter to me.
Yeah.
You're nothing.
Yeah, and I even had talks with my kids about stuff as being a parent, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to try to tell you, and this is what I've told them, is like, I'm going to try to tell you the things that I think, because of my experiences in similar situations, might not be correct, but I'm going to tell you things that, you know, I've experienced and how I've dealt with certain things, just to try to help you see a path through this difficult time or whatever. But in the long run, your life is your life and your decisions are your decisions, and you have to make them on your own. Whether I like it or not, it doesn't matter. Like, if you make a decision and I don't like it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because your decision is your decision. I understand that. So if you make a decision that I don't like it, that's on me, not on you. So it's like, you make your decisions. You have any questions, you can ask me, and I'll tell you what I think about it, but I'm not saying that this is how it has to be or this is how things are always going to be. No. You can do whatever you want, and your decisions are your decisions.
Yeah.
So.
And I've kind of adopted the same thing of, I can help guide you. I can give you advice. I can tell you my experience and tell you what things look like through my lens. But at the end of the day, you are you. This is your life. It's not mine.
Yeah.
I've made my decisions. You have to make yours.
Yeah.
And actively, I have to make my decisions. You actively have to make yours. And I've kind of gotten to a place where I don't really give a shit what other people think anymore. And I used to say people who say that are fucking liars. Like, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks. And my mind has changed on that, where I care about what you think. I care about what my parents think and what my kids think and my closest friends and my closest relatives. I care what they think. Everybody else, I don't give a shit. I don't know you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if some troll gets on the internet and says, hey, your podcast sucks. Well, that's cool. Don't listen to it. Oh, P.S. Go fuck yourself.
I wasn't making it for you. I was making it for me.
Yeah, I do it because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, you can ball it all up and cram it straight up your ass. I literally don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So it's understanding, like, yes, I care what these people think. Everybody else doesn't matter, because everybody else's criticism is, if you let it fuel you, it will. If you let people come in and say, oh, your content sucks and you should stop and blah, 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 you're going to go, God, maybe my content does suck. I don't care. I sincerely don't care.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think putting too much stock in other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions is only feeling your negative side.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that way. I've felt like that for a long time. Like, I don't really necessarily care what people have to say or think about whatever the things that I do. Like, I'm not going to do stuff intentionally just to hurt somebody's feelings, but like at the same time, if I do say something or do something, it's not intentional. I say stupid shit all the time.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's just like, it's a joke. Take it. It's just a joke.
Yeah. And if I meant it, so what?
Yeah. If I meant it, it's just my opinion.
Yeah. I shouldn't matter to you any more than you don't matter to me.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah. And I've told my kids that too. If somebody says something about you, even hate speech online, if somebody says something that you don't like, that's your problem, not theirs. Like, you have an issue that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Not them. Like, who cares what the fuck somebody says?
Yeah, and that, it's kind of like Trump derangement syndrome. How everybody who has it, like, no matter what Trump says, he's in the wrong and he's a villain. Like, he could say, literally, I found the cure for cancer, and I'm going to put it out for free. People be like, oh my God, he's not going to tax it, so we don't get tax breaks, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like that, where you have to deal with your own reaction to things. And I find for myself, most of the time, if I hear negative feedback or something like that, that's where the stoicism comes into play. Don't say a fucking word at first, because whatever you say is only a reaction. Mm-hmm. Take a moment, really think about why something bothers you. Really process it, and then go, oh, in actuality, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's going to be your answer. And then other times, you can be really introspective and go, okay, this bothers me because somebody I care about said that to me one time, and it just triggered me.
Yeah.
That's really most of what it is.
Yeah, I've found that the best rebuttal for something like that is to honestly say, hey, that hurt my feelings, I don't like that.
Which is totally fair.
Which is like truthful, and it's at the same time, like, if you say that to somebody, most of the time they're going to feel bad. Most of the time.
As long as they have empathy.
Yeah. Oh shit, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Well, you did.
Yeah, you did.
It's like, I don't give a fuck.
Now you got to buy me lunch.
Yeah.
That's the only way this is ever going to smooth over. Beto's is just down the street.
Yeah, I'll take a grilled chicken burrito, please.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing. One thing I think about with men's mental health is kind of the victimhood. And I've heard this a lot online and from a few people I know. And it's not to say they're wrong, but I think it gets put through the wrong lens, where a lot of men feel very unappreciated, right? I'm sure you felt it, I felt it, a lot of people do. But I've really kind of like chewed that down and tried to understand, why don't we feel appreciated? But I think the real problem is the expectation is too high, right? Where I think there's a lot of men who kind of want to be able to walk into the door of their house after work and everybody praise them, oh, thanks for your sacrifices, Daddy. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Grow up. Sometimes your appreciation really is like, hey, I actually have a house to come home to.
Yeah.
I have a wife, or I have children who love me. I have great things in my life. That should be your appreciation. People should not fawn over you for doing your fucking job.
Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of men get it wrong. It's like, you feel unappreciated because you want validation. And that's okay sometimes, but be realistic about how much you should expect.
Yeah.
Like, on your birthday or on Father's Day, sure, you get your little card and you get your tie and whatever it is. Like,
there's a beeger.
You might get a beeger. I mean, if you're one of those people who has a partner, yeah, potentially. That's a big thank you.
Yeah.
That's a big validation point. So it's like, if you are receiving those things, that's your validation. Stop crying for more.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where either prayer or meditation come into play, of like meditating on or praying about, you know, being thankful for all the things that you do have, just so you can put that in your mind of like, I'm so lucky to have all the stuff that I do have. I have my health, I have, you know, a family, I have, so you're putting it into your own mind, thank you for these things, or people in my life that give me joy, or things in my life that give me joy, so that when you come home, you've already put that in your mind, that I'm so thankful for this house, I'm so thankful for my partner, I'm so thankful for my kids or whatever. You can appreciate them for being there, instead of like going home and then being like, well, where's my dinner, bitch? You are thankful that you have a house, and you're thankful that you have a partner who's there dealing with the same struggles you are on a different level, a different set of challenges, you know, like kids and fucking, you know, job, whatever they're doing.
That's something I struggle with hearing men kind of talk about that sort of thing, is most of the time they want like appreciation and validation from their wife. And it's like, okay, is your wife also working? Is your wife also doing her share of housework and kid maintenance and all that? Okay, are you praising her?
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys are doing your job. You chose to get married, you chose to have kids, you chose to buy a house, whatever. That becomes your responsibility.
Yeah.
But those are things you wanted, so it's like you're saying, be appreciative for the things that you wanted that you now have, without expecting something in return.
Right.
Because it's just like, I don't like the woe is me mentality of, well, I work and I make sacrifices. Bitch, so does everybody else.
Yeah.
You may be special as a person, but that does not make you special enough for people to just go, we hailed you, you know?
Yeah, you have to really like take it into consideration that every single person in your life, like you get accustomed to like your wife and your kids at your house being a part of your life, you know, and so you can view them as being an extension of yourself, but like you have to cut that out and then put them into their own individual lives that are happening alongside yours. And so like you come home and stuff that you might think should be done, like dinner should be cooked or whatever, the house should be clean because the kids have to do their chores, and you come home and nothing is done and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Or you can step out and say, okay, what have you guys been doing? Oh, I had to do all this homework, blah blah blah. Everybody has their own shit going on.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you can step out and realize that, step out of your own individual life and view things that are happening around you as other people's, you know, individual things that they have going on, it's a lot easier to see, okay, time just fucking happens, and sometimes everybody's fucking busy at the same time, so nothing that you expect to be done can be done because there's no time for it.
No, I agree, and that's something I wish I knew a lot earlier in life, but the important thing is I understand it now. And there was a time where I kind of had that problem where I'd walk in the door and it's like, fucking house is a mess, there's no dinner, there's this and this and this. I mean, there are exceptions to that rule. It's like, okay, everybody just came home and just did nothing.
Yeah.
Or almost seemingly intentionally made messes, you know what I mean? So there are variables that go into it, but if most of the time everything is hunky-dory, don't get mad at the one or two times it's not.
Yeah.
But then the flip side is just like, case in point, yesterday I was off, but my sleep schedule is so fucked up where it's like, I got up and I took my daughter to school, I came home and I was hanging out with my oldest, we're watching a show, and then I fell asleep for like 3 hours. And after that, I just felt like dog shit, and I didn't want to do a single thing. I did like the bare minimum. I did some dishes, and I cleaned myself up. You know, brushed my teeth and brushed my hair and all that. That was all anybody could expect from me out of that day, because I was tired.
Yeah.
But people on the outside don't look at that from that perspective of like, oh, you went through this, you had this work schedule, your sleep schedule's fucked up, X, Y, Z, okay, cool. You're fine, I got you. Instead, we tend to look at it as like, why didn't this get fucking done? Why do I gotta be the only one who does this? We're just not looking at it through anybody else's lens.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's a very mature thing to do when you learn how.
Yeah.
Because from working our schedule, we tend to have that victim mentality more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
12-hour rotating days is fucking difficult on your body. It's difficult on your life, on your mentality, everything. So you look at other people who work 5/8s and you're like, you got it on fucking easy street. Like, no, they don't. It's just different.
Yeah.
Just because you don't experience it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and so I just live in the mindset I don't really expect anything to happen. I expect my kids to do what they're supposed to do, like their homework and do their chores. But I tell them all the time, like, just come home, do your homework, do your chores. That shouldn't take more than like 2 hours, realistically. And then you're free to do whatever you want. Like, you have the rest of the night to go hang out with friends, go do whatever you want. Just check in, say where you're going to be.
Yeah.
I want you to have your freedom, but at the same time, everybody has their responsibilities in the house. Like, you're doing dishes this night, you know that you're supposed to be doing it. Just come home, get it done, and then you can do whatever. Sit and watch TV all night. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you do the things that you have to do, and then you free up time for the things that you want to do. Like, easy.
Yeah.
So those are the small things that I expect to be for them to do. Now, if I get home and shit isn't done, I understand why, because most of the time shit happens all the time with,
sure,
kids and life, different shit going on. But like, I don't get pissed off about it,
Yeah, again, I think it's kind of the ratio of it. It's if 7 out of 10 days, it's like that, like you come home and things are done correctly, like the bare minimum is met, you got nothing to really complain about it. When it's 1 out of 10, you have a fair gripe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's, I really think that, and I know this is about men's mental health, but sometimes it needs a little tough love where men need to buckle down and be thankful.
Yeah.
Not everybody has what you have. And there are other people who look at other men's lives and go, I wish I had that person's life.
Yeah.
Whether it's one side or the other, you could be like a total family man and then see like a single guy with no kids and be like, I wish I had that. But that single guy with no kids may want your life.
Right.
So it's just appreciate what you have whenever you have it. Because it may be gone one day. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other thing about men's mental health that I tend to beat on is the way that men tend to treat women. And I know I've been accused of being a misogynist and a woman basher and everything else, but I know me and I know that's not how I am.
No.
But I understand that there's a fair amount of women bashing men because some men have earned that.
Yes, for sure.
There are a lot of men who use women for their bodies or use them as like meaningless pursuits, and that bothers me. I don't like that. And I'm just not built that way, so I can't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, in my perspective, looking at you when you were in your relationship, I always thought you were very attentive and a good partner. Like,
Aw, thanks, boo.
yeah, I mean, you were very thoughtful of like what was going on with her, very thoughtful of things you wanted to do together. And so from my viewpoint, like after you went through your breakup, of course there's going to be resentment because it's a every relationship that comes to an end like that, there's going to be resentment. So I don't think that there was anything out of the norm of like,
No, I mean, I carried it for too long, but I mean, that's on me. It's not on anybody else. But at the same time, there's resentment in active relationships.
Yeah.
every interpersonal relationship, it doesn't matter if it's with your partner, with your kids, with your fucking parents, with your siblings, there is active resentment. It just, when a connection dies or ends, there's just more. And it's not so much of like, I hate that person, I don't care about that person. None of that's true. It's just because it's harder to see what the good things were, and instead you only see like the negative parts.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to kind of put that resentment down and let it go, but eventually you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's when a relationship ends, you're almost searching for the reasons that led up to the end of that relationship, and so you're focusing on negative things probably more so than, you know, positive things that you went through with this said person, whatever. And so it is easy to see like how that resentment comes to the surface of like, oh yeah, this and this would always happen. It's like, you never complained about that during.
Yeah.
Now that it's over, now you're looking back and like focusing on these things that like did cause you trauma or did cause you feelings about it, but I mean, I think in reality the hardest part is voicing those things that like at the time that might be bugging you, so it's not going to create resentment in the long run. So it's like addressing your feelings about something that somebody does or has done, especially if it's your partner or your kids or your parent or whatever. Changing the paradigm of like, okay, that just happened and whatever, you know, vocalize it, like let them know.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the times people might hurt your feelings without even knowing that they did so. And it's like, if you don't like, especially if it's something that just keeps on happening, like I think it's okay to let them know, let somebody know that
it is. And it's hard to do because especially when you love somebody, it doesn't matter what your relationship is, you want to tell them like, hey, this bothers me, but you don't want it to feel like an attack.
Right.
So you kind of stuff it down, and then it builds up, and when it comes out, it is an attack.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to bring this up in a healthy way. It's, no, I'm fucking tired of this, and I'm pissed off about it, and now I'm going to let it out.
Yeah.
It's like letting a Rottweiler off the chain to chase a rabbit, instead of saying, you know, can we sit down and talk about this for a minute? I need to say this, and I want you to hear me, kind of thing. And it's a really difficult thing to do. And for those that have gotten really good at it, they're fucking amazing. Teach other people how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm still not good at it.
Me
because
neither.
there's things that people do that just get right under my skin, and I'm like, I'm going to let it go. But again, that comes down to that kind of stoicism reaction of, I need to take a minute and not bring it up while I'm heated.
Right.
Don't bring it up while it's a fresh, active wound. Take a minute, think about it, so you actually understand how you feel about it first, and secondly, how to approach it meaningfully.
Yeah.
Not just being like, you fucking bitch, you didn't cook dinner, or whatever it is.
I think that's, you know, a good place that therapy can really help you is like work through those emotions while you're not in the moment and gather your thoughts about it so you can articulate it in a way that doesn't sound like an attack. Like we've talked about, Kara and I have talked about it on episodes we've done with her about how, like, if we get into a fight, we'll usually separate, like go separate ways, and I'll go off and do something, she'll go off and do something. Not necessarily leave the house, but like sometimes I'll leave, take a drive, go up to the mountains, like take a walk, whatever, cooled off, gather my thoughts, and then later on, either that day or the next day, come back and then revisit it and talk about it. Like, I'm not mad anymore. What I was mad about is this, and that. You know, I understand why it happened, and I'm sorry that I let it get to me so much, and, you know, go from there. But we kind of have a thing where we know that if we get into a fight, we should probably just stop talking to each other for a little while, because we'll just start saying the most heinous shit that we can think of just to hurt each other's feelings. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to work out a difference, and we can't do that while we're just throwing insults at each other.
Oh yeah, because that's like one spot I really lack maturity into is if you prod at me while I'm angry, I will say the most hurtful shit I could think of. Like, I don't care if you go home and slit your fucking wrist, that's how bad I'll talk. But that's not who I am as a person. So it's like I have to do that. I have to step back and go, I love this person, I care about this person. I'm not trying to like make them go commit suicide by saying all the awful shit I can think of and make up. Instead, I want to actually meaningfully take care of that. I don't do that with everybody because I don't want to fix a connection with everybody. Right. There's certain people I just don't care to be around at all, ever. And then there's certain people that it's like, I kind of wish I could fix that connection, but you can't always do that. Yeah. It's not always feasible.
Right.
But sometimes time just takes care of it for you. I think about like my ex-wife, you know, for a long time we fucking despised each other. Now we're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
It only took like 13 years, but you get there eventually.
Yeah.
Because again, I had to let go of all that old resentment. I had to let go of like, oh, this person did this and this person did this and blah blah blah. Eventually you have to go, it doesn't matter anymore. It's been over a decade. It's okay to let it go, you know. It didn't take me that long, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, men are especially good at just stuffing it down until that bottle is boiling over.
Yeah.
Women are a little bit better at a reaction of, this makes me mad and I'm mad now. I'm going to just go ahead and hit my fucking stinger on it, you know. And I hate to say this, but women are way better at saying heinous shit than men are. And women are, this is going to sound like bashing, but women are really good at marginalizing men's feelings.
Yeah, I think so, because it is out there in the zeitgeist that, you know, that men don't have feelings, or men shouldn't have feelings. So it's an easy thing to attack, of like, if you are showing feelings, then you're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Why don't you be a man?
That's kind of
trying to. Men are supposed to be able to articulate their feeling, or talk about their feelings, right?
It's kind of been a weird thing in my time of being single and, you know, being by myself, is I get a very unique perspective of the outside world and how women and men interact, right? Especially on social media, because social media has just like fucked up the whole paradigm of interpersonal connections between male and female. And I see it a lot where some women are perpetuating, man, share your feelings, it's okay. And you'll see like one of these videos and you go into the comments, every dude, it's a trap, don't do it. Every single one of them. But then women have this thing nowadays that I absolutely despise, and only women get it. It's called the ick. Where if a man is vulnerable and shares his opinions, it gives women the ick. I don't know the comedian's name, but he tells this joke about some female connection of his said something about the ick, and he's like, what's that? She's like, when somebody does something that you find gross and you would never have sex with them after you've seen it. He's like, I've never heard such an unrelatable thing in my entire life. So that kind of shows me the ick is much more of a female thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to talk about like, okay, what's something somebody did that gave you the ick? And she's like, well, this guy took me on a date and we went to the park and he sat down crisscross applesauce and it gave me the ick. And I was like, holy shit, this is what a lot of women do. They'll latch onto something so ridiculous and call it the ick. And it's like, is it the ick, or are you just being picky?
I always thought the ick was something that somebody did that made them seem creepy.
I think that's what it was originally intended for, but it's kind of mutated into this like, he tied his shoes right over left instead of left over right. That gives me the ick, you know.
Excuse for not liking somebody for something that they've done.
Yeah, or like a certain behavior, or the way they dress or whatever. And I get it if you get the ick, like if somebody has really poor hygiene or they just dress like shit all the time kind of thing. That's more fair. But like the crisscross applesauce thing, how do you expect somebody to sit on the fucking grass?
Yeah.
You want them to just like sprawl out? I don't get it. But it's, you know, having had conversations with single women and you find out about some of their icks and then you realize, oh shit, I've given this person the ick like 7 times.
I wonder how many people I've given the ick. That's a poll. Let's put that as a poll. Anybody that's watched this or seen this or listened to it, how many people do I give the ick?
I also want to know for me too.
Yeah.
Like, am I giving the ick right now?
Yeah.
Is it because of the way I'm
I want to
saying?
find more ways to give the ick.
So there was another TikTok channel I follow, and I'm pretty sure it's ran by a man. But they'll do at these videos, they'll find videos of women saying that something gave them the ick, and then they go in and add it to their notes in their iPhone. And last time I looked, there were over 200 different things that give women the ick. And there's a little bit of that I give credence to, because women have many, many more options than men, right? And so they have not only access to more variety of people, but they have more people coming in for them, right? So that they see all these patterns and things like that they can go, this gives me the ick. Or they can correlate it to another person that did that thing that they didn't like.
Yeah.
And so they go, that gives me the ick. But for men, it's completely the opposite. If you sit crisscross applesauce in a park, it's not going to give me the ick. I think a woman would have to try really hard to give me the ick. Like if she showed up to a date wearing Velcro shoes, okay, that's a nasty one.
I don't know. Kara has some Velcro shoes, but they're Vans and they just have 3 Velcro straps. Pretty cool.
I think that's different.
Yeah.
When I think of Velcro shoes, I think of like the ones that my grandpa wore. They're like
Like
beige.
the Pro Wing Walkers.
Yeah, they're like beige and they have the 2 straps.
Yeah.
Which is okay, you know, when you're an old man. It's hard to tie your shoes.
Oh, yeah.
If like, you know, a 35-year-old woman showed up with those on, I'd be like, ah, shit. What kind of socks are you wearing? Are they the grippy type? That's going to make a difference. Grippy socks, grippy box.
Yeah. Kara said something to me the other day that I'd never thought about before, and this is what I kind of attributed to the ick factor was that when women go out with a guy, they have to, at all times, and no matter who they go out with, they have to be assessing if they're safe at all times. And so it's like, even like if you're being intimate with somebody for the first time or whatever, the whole time they're thinking, am I safe here? Am I safe with this person? Like, that's not something I've never even thought about. Like, so I was just like, yeah, that is something that women do have to deal with, that men are, probably most men don't really ever even take into consideration, because most men are, well, a lot of men are physically stronger than a lot of the women that they date, and so it's like, yeah, there is a safety factor that they probably have to be thinking about at all times. So these things that I was viewing as the ick, that were creepy or just like very homicidal behaviors that people demonstrate in their daily lives, that just seem fucking weird as shit, like serial killer vibes. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I always thought was the ick. And so, but yeah, she told me that the other day, and I was like, whoa, I've never even taken that into consideration. That's
I do. I think about it probably more than I should. Like case in point, there's a walking trail at the park down here, and every once in a while I'll go over there and just take a walk, you know, just put my earbuds in and walk around and just kind of clear your head, you know. And it seems like every time I'm doing that, there's already some woman who's walking, and like I'll park and then get on the trail, and I'm like 15 feet behind this woman. So I'll stop and tie my shoe for an abnormally long time so she can get way ahead of me.
Yeah.
Or I'll stop and sit at the bench for a minute to where she can get away, because you know, you don't want to give off that vibe of like I'm following you.
Right.
But I did see this funny video. This woman's like filming herself. This guy's been following me. And he like walks right up to her and walks right past her. He's like, we're on a walking trail, idiot. Yeah, I'm following you. And then he just like speed walks right past her. So I'm kind of two minds about it. But it doesn't take much just to be like, I'm not going to make somebody uncomfortable if I can take 10 seconds and just wait, you know. And it is something that is a real thing with women, feeling about their own safety, you know. And I totally get it, because there are a lot of bad dudes out there, and there are a lot of men who don't take no for an answer, you know, so I get it. Yeah. But it's also, I think, imperative for good men to take their part to not be part of that, even if that means stopping to pretend to tie your shoe. Yeah. You know, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, I saw, just on that walking trail thing, I saw this video. I don't know if I sent this video to you. There's a guy who's out on a walking trail, and he starts filming himself because he's like, yeah, I thought it was going to be a good idea. I took some shrooms earlier. And did you see that video?
It kind of rings a bell.
And he's like, he's like, I came for a walk to enjoy this nice day and came out here to walk this trail, and now I think there's somebody following me. There's somebody definitely following me. And he's walking, and he's like, you hear that? And you can hear like rustling in the bushes. It's like, there's somebody back there, right? And he's tripping, like he's having a full-on panic attack because there's somebody following him. And he's like sitting there kind of trembling, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, that's my dog. I forgot I brought my dog with me. But he's like tripping on shrooms. He forgot he was taking his dog for a walk, and then thought it was somebody following him through the woods.
Shrooms and men's mental health. That's something that's always interested me, because obviously I'm a huge proponent of psilocybin. But learning as much as I have, you find out that pretty much all men get an ego death. But I've never once heard about a woman taking shrooms and having ego death. Not to say it doesn't happen, I just haven't heard about it yet.
There was one video that I was watching of a girl that was doing an ayahuasca ceremony in Peru or something. Went to one of those retreat places, and she talked a lot about that. And yeah, so it was like, so it's like a 5-day thing where you go every day at a certain time, and then you'd start taking the ayahuasca, and then every day you get a higher dose. And but yeah, so she would go there, do the ceremony, and then after the whole thing was done, and then she's kind of back to reality. She would go back to her room and then make a vlog of what she experienced, what it was, and all kind of talk about all the things. But yeah, every day it was like talking about the ego death and all these self-realizations and stuff like that. So I do think that it happens. I think men are more vocal about stuff like that for some reason, especially with like trying different substances. It seems like if you look up those things, the majority of the videos that are online are mostly men talking about it.
Yeah, I also think men are probably more prepositioned to try it, or psychedelics, that is.
Yeah.
But I also think that we're kind of proponents of ego as it is, where we're already built up to, you don't talk about your feelings, you don't deal with this, you don't cry, you don't do blah blah blah. So you already have like this big wall that's built out of bricks of ego that aren't even yours. Yeah. They're your father's and your father's father and all these different generations of men before you who have passed down this bullshit advice, Well, not my dad, he's cool about it, but you know what I mean. It's a generational horse shit that needs to break. So we already have that. And then, kind of going back to the whole woe is me, I make sacrifices kind of thing. We put those bricks on top of that wall of, I'm a good man because I do X and Y and Z and all that. And so it's like when psychedelics come in and they just break that wall down, it's a lot of fucking bricks.
Yeah.
And anybody who's ever had like a real good ego death knows exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like all of your illusions about yourself are just shattered. All these things that you tend to believe, they're just not there. And that's, you know, the whole thing about psychedelics is really to delve deep into your own mind, your own soul. And the first thing you have to do is stop with false beliefs, because you can't take those with you. Like when you're going deep inside yourself like that, you don't carry anything. Mm-hmm. You have to just go in kind of naked. And so it is an interesting thing for men to experience, is that big fucking ego break of like, for example, is working out. You know, I remember I've had a few ego deaths where it's like beating myself up for not, you know, exercising more or not eating better or things like that. Granted, it hasn't totally taken effect. I'm still working on it. But I think things like that need to happen, because you're going to be your own worst critic. I don't know how it is for women, but for men, I don't think anybody beats us up as much as we beat ourselves up. So having that ego death where it's just kicking the shit out of you, and when you get clean of that experience, you're going to go, okay, here's an opportunity for me to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier to see the changes that you might need to make without a big wall in front of you, like of things that, excuses of why you shouldn't or can't do certain things.
Yeah.
Those ego bricks get in the way of looking at yourself in a real light of like, okay, well, I can do these things, I just have to do them. So, I mean, there's this thing that some guys at work, and Andrew Gordon actually sent me a video. It's called The Hard 75. Actually, haven't watched it, but he was explaining about what it is, and it's like a full mental and physical revamp of your evaluation of yourself. Yeah. It's like doing certain things every single day for 75 days until they become habit. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you're doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside, and then like come up with a diet plan, stick to that plan. You're doing this slowly over time, and then like every day you're reading, you pick a book that's like a inspirational book or whatever for you, and you read at least 10 pages a day of this book, so that over the 75 days you'll complete that book and maybe more. But it's more training you to set better habits for yourself and keeping yourself accountable for it. Really interesting way to look at bettering yourself as a person as a whole, in a pretty attainable way.
For sure. And I know, like for myself, is I've kind of fallen into different healing patterns, because just to preface, it's not just about like healing from a breakup. It's healing the parts of you that you didn't know needed to be healed. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's changing bad habits that you've had for your entire life. So it's not like, oh, you know, I went through a breakup that really hurt me and it just fucked me up for a long time. Like it's all the shit that you have to deal with. I'm just choosing to deal with it all at the same time, versus like, you know, heal from that breakup and jump into another relationship and then I'll work on these things. Yeah. Like, no, I want to deal with it all.
Well, it's not just healing from the breakup that happened, but looking at things that led up to that breakup and then realizing things that you might be doing that may have attributed to that situation.
For sure.
And then dealing with that, like.
Yeah, and parts of that means you need to look at different tools to help you, right? Because you can't just do it all yourself. You can't just wake up one day and go, oh, fuck, I'm good again. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So the Hard 75 is a great one. I don't know that it would fit into my lifestyle, but I do believe it's great. But there are other small tools, like, have you ever heard of the Kaizen workbook? Mm-mm. Where it's basically like a breakdown of your day, where it includes a lot of those same things, like read 1 chapter or read 10 pages. Or,
I think I've heard that.
go grounding, get sunlight, blah, blah, blah. It includes a lot of those things.
Perennial sunning.
Perennial sunning, just get it up there, let it breathe. I wouldn't do that. Where would I do it?
Yeah.
I'm too close to a school zone here.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that. Actually reading a book is fucking great for you, even if it's fiction. It doesn't matter if it's a self-help or whatever. Just read. Put your phone down for 10 minutes and read. I do it literally every day. Or I will read on my phone. As long as you're perpetually trying to learn and expand your knowledge, you're going to be healthier. But yeah, using tools like the Heart 75 or the Kaizen workbook or the Shadow Work workbook, all these things seem like kind of woo-woo. They're not. And I think the more men actually start indulging these things instead of being like, that's not going to help. Because how many men do you know that think therapy is bullshit?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And it's not. As somebody who's been through therapy a few different times, like, it helps a lot. Because you're not always self-aware enough to diagnose your own problem. And there are a lot of people on the opposite end who are so self-aware that they catch a problem that they have before it even happens. But not everybody's like that. And so tools like that are a necessary factor, not just for healing, but for growth. And, you know, how many dudes do you know that kind of have that woe is me attitude, but all they do is drink and doom scroll and eat garbage food all the time and don't have any hobbies. They don't indulge their mind in any way, shape, or form. They're just the most stagnant people you know. But they're also the ones who think that all that stuff, therapy, Kaizen, 75, they think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those dudes,
Yeah.
right? Now think about if they just applied one of those things, just took one of those tools and use it for your life. What's going to happen? You're going to gain momentum, and you're going to take another tool and another tool and another tool. And eventually you're going to go, oh, now I know what's wrong with me. It's these things that I'm doing.
Yeah. But I have this whole tool bag to try to help fix it. So
Exactly.
apply all these tools and fucking get into the mechanic shop and do some fucking work.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. I mean, I remember like the first time I really took a major trip, I took like 3.5 grams. And I remember describing it as like something unplugged my mind and plugged in my spirit. But while my mind was unplugged, there's little gremlins in there fixing shit, putting things back where they're supposed to be. So it is the same thing. It's just you're doing it consciously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that just like Dr. Travis Taylor said, that when you take those psilocybin, it drops all those filters, but I think that it's rewiring your brain to almost a default setting of like dropping these filters that you've put up in your mind for yourself of the world around you, both in the physical world and in your psyche of like things that you put up, filters for yourself and thoughts of yourself. And so doing a factory reset pretty much of your brain and rewiring it to these other ways that you used to know and used to think about. So yeah, I think that that's totally a real thing.
It for sure is, and I like that word psyche, where I kind of feel like, you know, going through a breakup that hurt a lot, and then understanding I have all these different things that I need to work on, it kind of breaks your psyche. But that's where I feel like I have the edge on a lot of people, because it's like I became very self-aware of all these things that I needed to work on that I was not happy with about myself. And a lot of people don't see that because they think, oh, I'm just a good person and I do this and this and this. And it's like, yeah, but if you do the same thing for too long, you become too stagnant. Versus when you feel kind of like shattered in a way, you get to put yourself back together however you want.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can get rid of this. I don't need that anymore. Instead, I'm going to put this thing here. Or this doesn't work anymore. I need to fix it and then put it back. You know, I think it's a huge benefit to kind of go through big major changes in your life every so often, because you'll get stuck in your ways and you'll think this works because it's worked for so long.
Yeah.
But eventually it doesn't work anymore. It's like your refrigerator is going to break down. Just because it stays cool now, in 10 years it may not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got a fridge built in the 60s, then it's probably still running
It's
like a
still
champ.
running avocado green, fucking cooling everything.
Cost you $100 a month to run it, though.
Yeah, I think another thing that goes into the whole mental health sphere of what you have to think about is the chemicals that you're putting into your body and how they make you feel and what it does internally to you to can cause depression and make you feeling
For sure.
certain ways. So like educating yourself on different nutrition things, different chemicals that your body is normally releasing all the time, and trying to mitigate the way that you feel by the things that you're putting into your body. I think that's a huge thing that people know about, but it's so convenient to stop at McDonald's and grab a fucking Big Mac or whatever.
It's true, and I've been kind of struggling with my nutrition lately, where I'm on it and I'm really solid for a week or two, and then I fuck off for a week or two, and then I'm on it and then I'm off it, and same thing with my vitamins or even lifting and things like that. Like, I'm having trouble staying consistent, but I'm still trying. It's becoming aware, like, fuck, I've fallen off, I got to get back on it. Then you get back on it, and then you fall off, and you get back on it. That, to me, is infinitely better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
And yes, putting what you put in your body changes the electrical symbols in your brain. It's like, I hardly ever drink liquor anymore. Like, I'll still drink beer or whatever, but even that I don't do all the time anymore. But when I was drinking liquor often, I was always fucking depressed. Now, was it because of circumstances? Sure. That didn't help.
Yeah.
It's whatever circumstances you have. Now you're multiplying it by 4 by taking in liquor. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like to indulge here and there, but I'm not like...
It is way easier to be like those days you feel like having a drink and then you have a few drinks and then the next day you feel like shit and it's like, oh yeah, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
Because it's good every once in a while to like remind yourself of, oh yeah, that's why I don't do this every day.
Yeah, and it's like, at my age, I've discovered, you know what I like better than drinking? Not feeling like shit.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler.
Yeah.
And there's days like yesterday, man, I really, really wanted a glass of whiskey, and I had every opportunity to go, down to the liquor store, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't really want to. I think I want to.
Yeah.
As it turns out, I really wanted to. I just didn't. But it's not just so much self-control, it's also just like, what do I want more? Granted, I still barely slept and got up early and, I'm doing this, and then later on I'm going to do chores and shit, but it's still like, I'm still better off having not done it.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, I might do it tomorrow, who knows? But not doing it every day helps.
Yeah.
And you realize like how much of drinking is habitual and how much of it is actual desire, for a social occasion. Absolutely, go for it. If you're just coming home after a normal day and having a few beers, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
In fact, that's actually really bad for you. Or if you had a bad day and you come home and you're like, I'm going to have a few glasses of whiskey, that's even worse. Now, when you go out with your friends and we go over to your house and we have a glass of whiskey and hang out and have a good time, that's great. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But just like sitting down and drinking for no reason, I'm kind of out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of conserve those days where I feel like I want to have a drink, I just want to have a glass of whiskey, whatever, just relax, sit and relax. I'll do that on like a long stretch of work. If I pick up a couple of days of overtime and then like come home, sit in the bath. We talked about a whiskey bath on the last one, and just like decompress, sit in some bath salts and drink a glass of whiskey and fucking sit there for like an hour in the bath. Mm-hmm. I'll do that still occasionally because it's just like, okay, I'm gonna put in like 90 hours this week. I'm gonna go to sleep after this and sleep for like fucking 18 hours. Usually it's like 7. Mm-hmm. But that's a long time for me to sleep. On usual days I get like maybe 6. But I think that's a more healthy way to look at it. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to save that for the time that I actually am going to enjoy it, rather than just doing it every day. And then it's like I come accustomed to it, and so it's just a ritual of what I do every day, which has happened in the past. And it's just constantly feeling like shit, like unmotivated, lethargic, don't want to do anything really, in a bad mood if I'm not drinking or whatever.
Yeah.
Totally has an effect on your physical, the way that you feel, and the way that you feel mentally. Like days that, like in the past, where I just drink every day, like I'll be pissed off until I have a drink, and then all of a sudden I'm like happy and oh, everything's good again. I've got a beer here.
Yeah. Well, and I really kind of fell victim to boredom more than anything, and I still think that's like my number one trigger, because it's most of the time I think about drinking, I go, oh, that sounds awful, I don't even want to do it. But when I'm bored, I'm like, you know what sounds good? A beer. And then, but that's also like one of the worst times to do it, because if you're already bored, you'll just keep drinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember talking to my therapist about it, and yeah, you know, there was a period of time where I was like kind of numbing pain with alcohol, but then I remember talking to her about it, and she's like, you know, I don't really think you're an alcoholic. I really don't. I think you have a boredom problem. And I know it may sound a little egotistical, but she's like, I think you're really, really intelligent, so you get bored super easy, and you just want something to fill that void. And I was like, I feel really attacked right now. I'm going to go have a drink. So,
you know what, this conversation is kind of boring. Do you have any whiskey?
What do you got in that cabinet over there? So, you know, understanding like where that need comes from, I think really helps a lot of people, which again, go to fucking therapy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need a therapist to call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, my therapy is, so I go to the gym and then I listen to, like, you know, people are listening to music and shit like that. Most of the time when I go to the gym, I'm listening to, like, podcasts talking about, like, either space shit or like health shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to doctors talk about how your heart functions, and you know what causes spikes in glucose or spikes in cortisol, and or like intergalactic fucking traveling comets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, so I'll be listening to it. Like the past week and a half, I've been listening to pretty much a Bible study but on the Book of Enoch, and so I'm just like entranced, like focusing on what I'm doing like at the gym, but at the same time I'm just listening to references to the Bible and stuff that I'm interested in at the same time while I'm like being bored at the gym. So I'm like, I don't know, try to kill two birds.
Well, and I think what kind of man you are, you can determine what kind of man somebody is by what they listen to, right? So if you're always listening to music, you're not feeding your mind, I think. Like, you're feeding your emotions, yes, but you're not feeding your mind, so to speak. And then you can break that down further into, like, what kind of podcast do you listen to? And if I ask somebody, like, you know, which podcast do you listen to? And they're like, oh, I love the Joe Rogan episodes with Joey Diaz. They're good, but there's not a whole lot to learn from. You know, like, that's like having a conversation with your buddy.
Right.
You know, it's a good thing, but are you expanding your mind?
Yeah, that seems like something to listen to out of loneliness, maybe, because you feel like you're having a conversation with your friends.
Which a lot of Joe Rogan episodes are like that.
Yeah.
But I prefer the ones where he talks to somebody who is an expert in a subject that I'm interested in.
Right.
You know, and it's not to say that one makes you better than the other. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you have to feed every portion of yourself. It's not just your body's nutrition. It's what are you putting into your mind. Mm-hmm. It's not just, you know, consuming alcohol. It's also the other paradigm is what are you doing to enrich your life, you know. So it really is just like finding a balance in it for yourself. And even, you know, since you had me turned on to binaural beats, you know, I try to spend like 10 or 15 minutes at night with just that in my ears and, you know, my blindfold on and just lay there. which is such a great practice. You know, I think that's something everybody should do, man or woman, it doesn't matter. Or even just spending 10 minutes alone with no devices on, no TV, no phone, no nothing. Just sit there with your thoughts. You'd be surprised how many people cannot do that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary when you think about it. I mean, we're so addicted to our phones, right? You're standing in line somewhere. You're only going to be in line maybe 2 minutes. What do? You pull that phone out. You're waiting for an elevator. You pull your phone out. So it really is a good thing to just disconnect, just for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No TV, no phone, no book, no nothing. Just sit there with yourself.
Yeah, even with the binaural beats, like, as corny as it sounds to do, like, you kind of feel like, what the fuck am I doing? When you first start, like, listening to it, and then, like, you start getting into it, and you do get this almost ethereal feeling of, like...
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like your endorphins are going crazy, and your brain is actually firing. It's really weird.
It's such an incredible feeling, though. It's like, you know, when you take that sip of whiskey and you feel it kind of like permeate, and you start to get those endorphins and you start to feel a little bit light and everything. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Only I've been kind of using it as like a meditative tool to help with the remote viewing thing, because I've been working on that, you know. But even when I'm not trying to do that, or it's just not happening, you're still sitting there with these frequencies going through your ears and into your mind. And it's really cool when you have in-ear earbuds too, and you're getting different sounds that are affecting different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
And it's such a really cool experience.
Yeah.
And it really does help to really, if you're, you know, dealing with something, because there's a lot of different beats that have different intentions. So you'll have some for
different moods.
Yeah, you know, you'll have one for healing, and one for deep sleep, or one for entranced thought and things like that. And so if you kind of tailor that too, it's just even better.
Yeah.
It's like crossfading while you're drinking whiskey and smoking a joint, dude.
Yeah, I always thought that, like, you've seen those, like, crystal bowls and stuff that they do the...
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I always thought that was really woo-woo, but now it's like, maybe they are fucking really doing something with that shit.
You know, the more topics we delve into, and this does pertain to men's mental health, because I think people should expand their knowledge base on things they don't understand.
Right.
So the more things that we've talked about, especially this year with telepathy and remote viewing and astral projection, or any one of those aspects, like, the more we look into that, the more I say these other things that I thought were bullshit are not bullshit. Tarot, for example. Like, yes, your TikTok tarot readers, they're horse shit. But I've learned a little bit about tarot, and we still need to do that episode. But the more I've looked into it, the more I go, there is something there. I just don't understand it. Mm-hmm. Or even like Reiki, you know, the crystal thing and all that. There's something there. I just don't understand it. But the key factor is my mind is open enough to go, I'm ready to receive that information.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of men tend to be closed off. That's horseshit. That's fucking stupid. Why would you ever believe that?
Yeah.
But these are the same people that go to church every Sunday.
Yeah, I think that a contributing factor to that is that men are very tactile. Like, the physical things, I want to understand all these physical things. Like, a lot of men are into cars because they like the physical aspect of putting something together. It's like a puzzle. Whereas, like, stuff like that is more of a metaphysical concept, and so it's not in this physical realm that you can observe and affect immediately. And so it's easier to say that it's bullshit than to be open to trying to understand it from something, especially something like that, where it seems like for the most part you'll never fully understand, but like trying to grasp the concept is the goal of all these things. That just like you understand that something is going on, but I'm not necessarily supposed to understand it fully, but working towards achieving a better understanding of these things. I think for me, that's rewarding in itself. Like,
I agree, and like you said, we may never understand fully. We may never get the full picture of it. But I think I've told you about Pat McNamara.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So he has a principle that I grasped onto really tight, and it was called eternal finish lines, where no matter how fast you run or how far you run, you're never going to finish. But that's the goal, because you're always going to be pursuing. And that's something that I really grasped onto, especially when we talk about these things, knowing I'll probably never know the answer to any one of them, let alone all of them. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop chasing it.
Yeah.
I still want to know as much as I can, because a lot of these things that we learn about and delve into, they help me develop my own psyche, my own personality as we go, because, you know, I think about myself as, 20-year-old, I didn't believe in shit. I thought all of it was horse shit, and I thought, when we die, it's just lights out. My perception has changed a lot, and that's made me more open-minded to everything else.
yeah,
Like, if it's possible for your metaphysical body to leave your physical body and travel, why is all these other things impossible? They're not. And that can pertain to everything else of, like, I used to believe forgiveness was not a thing. Like, you had to earn it. And now, knowing the things I know, I go, it's totally possible. You just have to find it within yourself.
yeah,
So it really does apply when you open your mind, your pineal gland, to all these other things. Other smaller things will fall in step with it.
yeah. Yeah, I heard a quote recently. I don't think it's a new quote, but it's like living in faith. Faith is the absence of fear. Fear is the absence of faith. And so faith in whatever it is that you have faith in that's going to happen, like dropping the fear of that, whatever it is that you're afraid of that might happen, dropping that fear and just taking on the faith of, like, yes, this is going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
So why be afraid of it?
Exactly. And I mean, along that line too is like kind of a sense of karma, where I'm at a place in my life where it's like nothing's really wrong, but nothing is super right either. I'm just kind of like gliding, right? Where I'm very content with everything. And then there's a part of you that goes, I would like to have a partner at some point, or I would like to have this channel take off at some point and be able to make enough money I don't have to work anymore. I could just do this or whatever. And there's always that part of you that has fear of, like, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. That'll never happen. Instead of understanding, that just have faith in it instead of fear. And the other part is karma of, like, I've done enough good in this world that I earn something good to happen to me. And I have faith in good karma, but I also have faith in bad karma. So it's like you kind of have to stay on the straight and narrow and just keep doing what you're doing if you believe what you're doing is good.
Yeah.
And if what you're doing is bad, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, you just got to keep on putting in the reps. That's what I view this as. Like, if you're wanting to have something successful like a podcast, you got to put in reps to be able to get to a point where you're actually making the good stuff and making, you can't just like put out one podcast and then take off all of a sudden without any fuck ups and mishaps and shit like that. It's all a learning process. So everything that I do, I try to put into the perspective of, like, it's going to take time. You got to put in the reps. Like, you got to put in the work that it takes to get to the point where you can try to expand on whatever it is that you're doing.
Exactly. And there's a lyric from a song, time will do what's best for me. I believe I can change. And I do believe that, but time itself can't do it. You also have to help.
Yeah.
You have to put in your share of the workload. But I mean, even within the lens of, like, the podcast thing, I think about the first year's episodes are not even half as good as the second year's episodes. That's just my take.
Yeah.
But you're new, you're finding your footing and things like that. That's the way it's supposed to be. even listening to AJ from the Y-Files talk about it, and he's like, I look at those older episodes and I really want to delete them, but I can't because that's part of the history, that's the trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
You see where we came from versus where we're at now. And if you look at where we're at now and think about where we're going, that's even more impressive. So that's the same way I see it, is like, it will take time, but it's also going to take effort.
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of men drop the ball, is not putting in effort. Because it is easy to come home from work and smash a few beers and doom scroll for hours. Granted, I doom scroll all the time, but I still do my work. But it's like you're not putting in any effort into anything else besides these bare minimum things just to keep alive. You're surviving, you're not living.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think it's time for a lot of men to be a little bit more self-aware and go, okay, I have to change these habits.
100%. And it has to be your idea to do it, because if it's somebody else that's trying to make you do it, you're not going to want to do it. Like,
no. You can't have inception on the idea.
Yeah.
You can be inspired by somebody else, but you can't, like, if it's your wife saying, you need to work out, or you need to lose weight or whatever, you're not going to want to do it, and you're going to feel resentment. But if you look in the mirror and go, I'm unhappy with myself, I'm going to start working out, then you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any fun doing it, but you're going to feel better about doing it.
I think at this point I'm kind of addicted to the endorphins that I get after, and it's like such a dopamine kick to get done with the workout and then be on a high for like 2 or 3 hours and then crash out and want to go take a nap. But that feels great, like to...
And it's a well-deserved nap.
Yeah. It was like days like when we're off and stuff, I'll go to the gym for like 3 hours and just fucking do all the things that I want to do at the gym. And then, okay, now what am I going to make for dinner because I'm fucking starving?
Yeah.
Gonna go to the store, grab some chicken breasts, fucking go cook them. They're going to be delicious. So.
Yeah, I keep telling myself I need to dedicate more time to working out, but man, I've got a couple of video games I'm just like stuck on, and I'm not even a video game guy, and I'm just like, this is so much fun. But it kind of reminds me of being a teenager and like playing Halo,
yeah.
You know, especially with your buddies. And it's just so much like that it's a feel-good endorphin. Now, the people who only play video games, like, that's kind of a problem. You're not getting enough time outside. You're not spending time with anybody who's meaningful in your life. You're just on the screen, you know.
Well, you play with your boys too, don't you?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a bonding thing also. So it's also spending time with...
Yeah, I actually think I play more with Scott than anybody else, to be honest. But that's kind of the same thing, you know. It is a bonding thing.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing it 10 hours a day, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also kind of a peaceful thing, even though I'm fucking yelling at the screen. You fucking piece of shit! Oh my God! But it's still, you know, you walk away from it going, that was a fun time.
Yeah.
But anything worth doing is worth dealing with the tribulations of, even if that means somebody's cheating or the game is fucked up or whatever. It's just like, yeah, that was annoying, but that was just part of it.
Yeah, how did they do that? Maybe I can do that.
Fucking hackers. Yeah, it's
inspiring you to learn a new skill.
It is. It inspires you to try harder.
Yeah, be a hacker, dude.
Just be a hacker. Just type in those codes, get your account banned for life. It's fine. No, I'm trying to get maxed out, so I'm not cheating at all. I'm grinding, as they call it. And that's what you have to do in life. You have to
level
grind.
up, dude. You're just leveling up.
Just leveling up.
Yeah.
It's like you watch that little bar go up just a little bit each time you play. And it's just like, oh shit, new level. Start at the beginning. It's just like life.
Yeah, in life you just got to try to, you know, expand that fucking bar as much as you can every day.
Just a
What are
little
you
bit.
doing today to expand your fucking life experience?
Oh, I know for me, I'm doing this, and then later on I'm going to edit these. And that right there, like I've talked about before, there's fulfillment in it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm bored during the editing process, when it's done, I have a finished product. I have something that I look at and go, I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I did that. And I'm happy about it. And then I post it, and then, all like 9 people who listen to it, and it's more than that. I'm kidding. But if one person listens to, let's say, this episode and is like, you know what? I am going to change. I'm going to do better. Or I'm going to get this Kaizen workbook. Or I'm going to do the hard 75. Like, that's worth it.
Yeah.
One person is all it takes.
Yeah.
Now, if it was like, 2 million, it'd be better. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I try to inspire people every day. Like at work, I'll got a harp on Stitch on every episode, so like see him pull out that fucking hot Cheetos, I'm like, wow, dude. Sure you should be eating that? Did you just come out of the bathroom? Oh, man.
15 minutes every break, dude. I feel like there's a better use of your time.
Yeah, I was fucking, when Hal was down there, I was like, he was eating something, and I had Pat's doing keto, and so we were sitting there eating our keto shit that we had, a little more health diet restrictions that we were eating, and Hal pulled out like a big burrito from Beto's his wife brought him, or it was like carne asada fries. I was like, wow, you're really gonna eat that? He was like, yeah. I was like, do you have a lot of video, like take video selfies and videos of yourself? No, why? Just so your kids can remember you with something.
That's fucking
That's
savage.
fucked up, man. Yeah, it is fucked up. You probably shouldn't be eating it. Here I am, like fucking 100 pounds more than he is, like telling him what he should and shouldn't eat.
Yeah, but you're buff as fuck. You could probably do way more push-ups than he can.
I feel like I can do like 1 million push-ups now. I'm doing 400 a day, so.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I remember being in really good shape, like 13 years ago or something, where I could do 150 in one shot, cold.
Yeah.
And it was fucking lean. Now I think about that, and I'm like, oh, dear.
15. I'll do 15 right now.
15 and try not to get winded by 6. Yeah, it's so something else with men's mental health that I wanted to kind of cover is the single life, right? So I've been single for a while, and I'm perfectly content being single. And I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people are full of shit, but I genuinely mean that. But part of that comes from the current dating world is fucking garbage. It's not just the ick you gotta worry about. Yeah. There's a lot of factors that go into it, and I'm not saying like one gender is better than the other, but things have kind of seeped into the kind of dating world that make it undesirable. Social media makes it impossible.
Yeah.
And like, I think everybody is just walking around so traumatized and fucked up that like most people who are single now, we just don't believe that it's a real thing anymore. And especially, like I said before, I see most everybody's relationship around me and I go, most of you people are fucking miserable.
Yeah.
I don't want that for me.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to date in this environment as it is now. I wouldn't even know where to like go to try to meet somebody, because I don't know if I'd be able to do the online shit. That's too weird to me.
I was on it for like 3 days and I went, can't do this.
Yeah.
And I just deleted it. I was like putting my chances up to fate in a way where the online thing just does not work. I would love to see the actual like success rate of online dating. Like if there's some kind of study out there, I would love to see it. But also thinking about meeting somebody in person, I genuinely believe you're not going to find your partner in a place where you wouldn't want your partner to be. So it's not likely to meet a future partner at a bar on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
You're going to meet somebody temporary who's probably going to leave you with a lot more damage than they found you with. But it's like, if I was with somebody, I wouldn't want them to be at the bar on every Saturday night. Like, sure, occasionally, whatever, but likelihood of that happening is pretty fucking slim.
Yeah.
And then, so you kind of leave it up to like a meet cute in person, you know, that movie type situation. It's like, that's unlikely. And part of that, you know, it kind of leads up to just being content being by yourself. But then the other part is just like, again, having that faith over fear and that karma of going, eventually it probably will happen.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, that's cool too.
Yeah. I don't even know how you would meet somebody and just like fucking randomly. I guess like, I don't know. I don't talk to people when I'm out and about. Really. Maybe that's something that should work. I mean, I'm not trying to meet anybody, but like, hello. Hello.
I find I people too hard.
Yeah.
Like that one time talking to that dude at the register, and then he just went too far with it. Where it's just, this conversation was only supposed to last the amount of time for you to scan my shit. You just keep talking, and I don't like that.
Okay. Well,
see you later.
Okay, well.
Big gulp, son. See you later.
Yeah, I don't know where. Probably, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and kind of going back to like the thing about the way men treat women, that has caused women to be very jaded, right? And then there are a lot of women who are using men for what's in their wallet, and that's caused a lot of men to be jaded. So it's like that fence has to be mended somehow. Because I see it all the time, these videos of like men take these women out to dates and they bring their kids, or even worse, the ones where the men will text like, you know, I'll come pick you up, and then they'll send them the address of like the nail salon they're at and expect them to pay $400 for their nails. Like, this shit is awful. But it's the same as like men just trying to get notches on their belt with as many different women as they can. It's all fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
And so it's created a lot of like jadedness between the two genders. So I don't know. I don't know if there's actually a solution to fix it, but I know the pendulum is all over the place, you know, especially in this day and age where women still have the concept that men should pursue women, right? And now men tend to be more in their soft era where they're like, you know, I'm a treasure, I'm worth being pursued, so I'm going to let women pursue me. And instead you just get this, and nobody's pursuing anybody, and it's all just fucked up.
Yeah, we got to change this into this.
The old clapper.
Yeah, maybe you just need to meet somebody at Phenomicon, dude. One of those old ladies, one of those old leathery ladies that were there.
Wow, dude, I was thinking like Cindy Kaza, but okay.
Yeah, Cindy Kaza. I'm not sure if she's married or not, but
maybe I'll just ask her.
Yeah, hey,
here.
This doesn't have anything to do with the paranormal. Maybe it does. I don't know. Are you married?
Boyfriend? Anything? Because
are you looking, or are you open to the experience of going on a date with somebody?
I mean, like me, like after this thing closes at 8, or just see you down the road at 8:30. Yeah, I don't mess with anybody who's in any kind of relationship, and that's something that men also need to work on.
Yeah.
Because we all know people who are like, I don't care if she's married, she's going to cheat anyway, might as well be with me. Not with me.
Yeah.
I got rules.
I am not that guy, I would say.
That reminds me of something I want to have to tell you later. Dave's not that guy.
Dave is not that guy.
You're in safe hands with all Dave. You're in safe hands with all Dave.
I've said it time and time again. People didn't believe. Have faith.
Some people still don't believe.
Yeah.
Some people are just waiting for some shit to happen, and I promise you it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I said it from the onset, dude.
See, I appreciate that. You stood up for me.
Yeah.
What a guy.
I mean, until everybody started saying it, then I was like, oh, okay, that's a thing. Let's.
But it's a joke.
Let's delve into it.
Yeah.
This joke.
Let's make some memes.
Yeah, let's make some memes.
Yeah, it's dating world is fucking weird.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I met my wife at J.C. Penney's while we both worked there, so I mean, that was that was the thing to do, I guess, back then.
That's how people met each other.
Yeah, back in the 1900s.
But we also work in a place where it's like all dudes.
Yeah.
So unless I'm switching teams, that's not going to work. I wish I could be gay.
Yeah. There's a lot more options out there.
Well, in a relationship with a dude sounds so simple.
Wear the same clothes, like share clothes.
Yeah. You just like hang out and play Helldivers together.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for the whole poking each other in the chops thing, I could totally do it. But I can't bring myself to do that.
Yeah. Playing video games and giving each other handies while you're doing it. Like, we got 30 seconds till the next match.
Dutch rudder? That's less gay if it's Dutch rudder, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else with men's mental health?
Yeah, I would say men's mental health, definitely you got to get in touch with your emotion. You got to get on top of like controlling your physical well-being along with your nutritional needs, so the chemicals in your body aren't having you on this roller coaster of emotions. But when you do experience emotions, I think it's perfectly okay to express the way that you're feeling. So
I agree. Add to that, you need to learn how to regulate your nervous system. Don't think with your dick. There's actually, contrary to popular belief, there's no brain down there.
There is not. I mean, I think there's a direct line that goes from here to here that's like very powerful.
There is.
But if you just, practice the meditation of, I don't know, beat your dick in the morning and then you can think straight for a little while.
For a little while.
Yeah.
You get that clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny thing, like, when I say regulate your nervous system, it's because I tend to think that men and women cannot just be friends without at least one person thinking that way about the other. And so it's kind of created this weird paradigm in my mind where I feel like I can't have a conversation with a woman without her thinking I'm trying to fuck her.
Yeah.
When it's like, I'm literally just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to, get in your pants or get another notch or whatever.
Yeah.
But women are so ingrained to deal with that because men don't regulate themselves.
Yeah.
It's okay to just have a conversation with the opposite sex without trying to stick your dick in them.
Yeah, and I think I have that to such an extreme that I try not to conversate with women, where it's like first of all, I don't want to give you the ick, whatever that is. And for the secondly, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to hit on you, even though that's probably not what you're thinking. That's just my own perception of what you might be thinking.
I agree.
But I almost tend to avoid talking to females that I don't know, just because of that whole like scenario of that being a thought.
Yeah, and like you said, it could just be my own perception of what you potentially think. I could be totally off base.
Yeah.
But that's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's just trying to fuck me more.
Yeah. I don't want to come off as a creep because I say weird shit all the time. And I for the most part, we'll try to joke with somebody, especially if I don't know them. I'll try to say something that's funny, because who doesn't like to have something funny said while you don't know somebody? So I'm not trying to impress you or make you laugh or think that I'm a funny guy or whatever. It's just that's what I do, and I get into a situation where I don't know what to say. I'll try to say something funny.
My humor is just an outlet for my awkwardness.
Yeah,
That's all it really is.
Exactly.
It's even worse when it's when it's a woman who thinks you're just trying to get in her pants, and she thinks your jokes are terrible. She just, you give her the ick twice.
The double ick.
Dude, if this maybe sounds shitty on my behalf, but if I'm in that situation, I will purposely keep doing it. I will keep giving you the
What
ick.
else gives the ick?
Did you see my Velcro shoes?
Have you seen me sitting down crisscross applesauce?
Hold on, what if I cross my leg like this? Is that worse?
Even worse, I'm going to sit crisscross applesauce on the couch or on a bar stool. That I'm sitting on. I think I was giving kids the ick on Halloween because I kept on saying weird shit to them just to be a creepy person.
That's funny.
More so in the Halloween spirit of like, happy Halloween, be careful out there, there's a lot of weirdos.
That's funny.
Yeah. To me, Carrot was laughing, and then I would say something like that and then be like, that's probably pretty creepy to a kid. Like,
they walk up, you're like, do you guys smell any dead bodies? No? We're good. How many candies you want?
Yeah. Take a whole handful, be careful. Something in that bowl.
There's a lot of weird people out here.
There's a monster in the bowl. I don't have my dick in the bowl.
It's one of those bowls that has a hand in there, I swear to God. Look.
Trying to be creepy in the Halloween sense, not like I'm going to kidnap kids later on tonight type of way.
Why would you want to kidnap kids?
I don't know.
Kids are annoying.
Yeah.
Do you have Roblox on your phone?
Fuck! You can make it like 2 streets away. Get the fuck out of my car. We'll have to open up the van and undo all the chains and shit.
You got like 3 kids that are like, hey, what kind of candy are we gonna get? Is it Reese's? I don't like Reese's. I like
a peanut allergy.
I picked up the worst fucking one.
When are we gonna get there? Holy fuck.
You guys are costing me a fortune in these zip ties. God damn. So yeah, I think we solved another Movemeber episode.
Yeah.
I hope somebody took something away from it. Whether it was like the negative woe is me stuff or finding something positive. I hope just like one person listens to it and goes, I can do better.
Even if it's like you listen to it and be like, man, these guys are fucking retarded. I don't want to be retarded like them. Cool.
A win is a win.
Good job.
A win is a win.
Yeah. So yeah, solved it.
Solved it. Doctor. We'll pull it there. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Bye.